Hi guys. Um, Welcome back to my channel, or welcome, whichever category you happen to be falling under. All right, whether you're brand spanking new here, you never seen me before, I ain't never seen you. You know what I'm saying? Sit back, relax. Just feel the vibes, listen to me talk. All right, hopefully something resonates for you. This is gonna be a message for this upcoming week. I always do these upcoming weekly messages, so just subscribe, hit the notification bell so y'all know what I'm doing. My live streams. Y'all already know I got my handy dandy notebook. Okay, always jotting down some vibes, right? So, as you can tell from the title of this video, I might end up changing it right now. Okay, the title is cherishing this precious really it should be precious new, but cherishing this precious innocent new beginning, right? So, as well with this message, and I'm gonna get into, I mean, really whatever kind of comes out or whatever, but of course, I always try to touch on finances, career, any type of challenges, and of course, romance. Um, but low key, this video is actually what you call it. A more of like a prophetic dream, okay? Because I had a dream, okay? And I didn't necessarily just want to do a video about that, but like I said, I might end up changing the title of this. But I had a prophetic dream not too long ago. And I kind of sat on that dream for a little bit. I didn't necessarily look up anything around like what it meant or anything like that. So with the dream, it was a lot happening. Okay, it was a lot happening in that dream. But with the dream, I the main part that I remember, I think it was like my aunt or my mother that was like standing beside me, but it was an older woman that was standing beside me. Like I said, I think it was my mama or my aunt. And there was a baby being passed over. There was a baby being passed to me. And listen, now, viewer discretion is advised. All right, it's not as grotesque as it's about to sound. But I remember they were trying to pass a baby over to me, and then the baby fell on the ground, and the image was like the baby being split in half, where like their torso was on one part and their legs were at the bottom. But again, there was no blood, there was nothing crazy or anything like that. It was just literally an image of a baby being split in two. And so I went to go pick up the baby, and the baby was whole again. And it wasn't anybody's fault. Like, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't like my aunt or my mom or whatever. It wasn't their fault of why the baby dropped. But I remember, and I told y'all before too, when you remember dreams or whatever as well, think about your emotions within that dream. And I remember I was just so irritated and I was mad because my mom or my aunt, I can't remember which one, but was like, like, do you want me to take the baby or something? I was like, no. I was like, no, I got it. Like, I got it. And I was just like holding and coddling the baby. That was basically the main part of the dream that I remember. It was a lot more other things going on, but that's basically the part that I wanted to discuss here. Crazy thing is, raise your hand if you knew. I didn't know, unfortunately. Okay, I don't be talking. I don't know all about you. Fortunately, I didn't know, but I didn't know about the story in the Bible about a baby being split in half. Literally had absolutely no idea. Just found out right before I started this live stream because I went to go do more research and just kind of like indulge or whatever on just the meaning behind that, but the meaning behind infant, child, or whatever. I know babies and dreams just, they normally just typically mean just some type of new beginning. And that's why, like I said, that's all I was thinking about when I wanted to do this video, but I hadn't done my research yet. So I was just like, okay, you're cherishing a precious new beginning, you know what I'm saying? Something that's innocent, something that's precious. That baby, but baby. Okay, but baby. All right. When I went to go look it up, it kept saying baby split in half Bible, when you Google or whatever. So I actually went up and looked up the story. So I'm just gonna like paraphrase or whatever, but in the Bible, it's First Kings chapter 3 verses 16 through 28. But this is just like a paraphrasing or whatever. But it was King Solomon. King Solomon. It says that this Bible story recounts two mothers living in the same house. Each of the mother had an infant son that came to Solomon. One of the babies had been smothered, and each claimed that the remaining baby was their own. So one of the babies passed away, and both of the women was like, no, the last, it was a boy, it was a son. That the son that was left, they were both saying like, no, that's my son. And she was like, well, no, that's my son. So Solomon, he just got a sword out. He was like, hey, he called somebody like, hey, come give me a sword. If you know, and so it's basically a big moment as well of like judgment. So his judgment was, he declared his judgment of like, all right, well, I'm gonna split the baby in half then. You know what I'm saying? Both of y'all trying to say that it's yours, I'm gonna split the baby in half. And it said each woman to receive a half. And so I went further to look up like what does cut the baby in half mean. It says the phrase means that a decision, this is just one thing, of course I'm going to get into intuitively vibes or whatever around this X, Y, and Z. But it says the phrase means that a decision can only be made in favor of one party without destroying the value of the disrupted item. Someone can't really split a baby in half, obviously. Instead, he or she must decide that only one person is the true owner of this property. But there's a big vibe, and that also too led me to one of my, one of my spirit animal messages, which is the porcupine. Okay, so big vibes for this upcoming week for you. Spirit animal, maybe the porcupine. But this one says, it says you may defend yourself honorably without hurting those close to you. So a big vibe basically around either maybe there's a particular lifestyle that you're living or something that you got going on where maybe other people don't agree, or maybe someone doesn't understand. And follow me on Twitter, okay? My Twitter, Olivia Love _ 5 times. But one of the pinned tweet that I have up there, it says, no one in your life will ever fully understand like the journey that God has you on. So don't sit there and try to minimize your existence. So try to not truly be yourself, not being expressive, not being passionate about the things that you're passionate about, just to soothe the energy of other people or to make other people comfortable. Okay. Hold on now, because I got to read this. Somebody said the real mother offered to give the baby to the other woman to save the baby. Solomon knew she was the true mother. Okay. So and that's still like a big vibe around, again, it's like you may have been going through a moment, and honestly I feel like that this month, whenever this resonates for you, like this is going to be a time, this is going to be a season of where you overcome all of that. You overcome trying to minimize yourself. For some of you, maybe you do have spiritual gifts, talents, or skills or something, or even if it's not necessarily a spiritual gift, talent, or skill, just something that's within you, where other people have made you try to feel like that you don't really have a gift, or that you don't really have something special with inside of you, because they didn't understand it, because they didn't get it. Maybe you went to school for a particular thing, but you decided to, take a career in something completely different, or whatever you got going on. For some of you guys, this can come down to relationships. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're dealing with somebody, or in a relationship where maybe your family don't agree, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's just some type of conflicts or whatever, but it's just like we got to get to the point of you got to stop minimizing yourself just to make other people comfortable. And it's like I feel like I've been saying this message for so long, but it is something that's very tough to do, especially when you're faced with, because people can say all day long, well, they don't care about what people think. But when that person is your mother, is your father, is your boss, is your best friend, is your long time, cousin, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like it's somebody that is of value to you, that is actually really hard to just say you don't care, because there is a part of you where you do care about how someone sees you. You do care about how someone is perceiving you. But it's like a big vibe of getting to a point of like agree to disagree, getting to a big vibe of like, listen, you deserve happiness too. Your emotions matter too. Your happiness matters too. Your feelings matter too. Okay. So there's just a big vibe around like some people are really overcoming a big moment, a big milestone in their life of like breaking away from tradition, possibly breaking away from, again, not being able to defend yourself or defend the decisions that you've made in your life. Whether and that might be a thing too, where some people may mean you so well. They may mean so well. They really do. Okay, but it's just like you gotta learn on your own. You gotta grow on your own. You gotta go through stuff on your own. It's like, somebody can't keep holding your hand the whole time. And it's like, maybe you made certain decisions or you did certain things, but it wasn't the way that somebody wanted you to do it, or it wasn't the way that someone else wanted you to handle a situation. So again, it's a big vibe around a lot of you may need to defend yourself. You may not even know that as well. You may not know that there may be a conversation. I've been talking about this in a few of my videos as well, of there being like a passionate conversation coming up for some of you guys, but you may not even know. You know what I'm saying? It might take you by surprise, where somebody's quote unquote calling you out, or again, if you, it's more so I get a vibe of like maybe you reaching out for help from someone, and it's like, but maybe you always need help like within this area or whatever it might be, and somebody may, they might be irritated about it. Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you do this? And it's just like, well, damn. Okay, it's just like, well, first of all, okay, if you didn't want to help me, that's all you had to say. I didn't need you to start yelling at me. Okay. Okay, I didn't need you to start being so damn aggressive out this bitch, okay? But anyways, but that's just an example. But it's something like there might end up being a very passionate conversation. And again, somebody, or maybe even you, it's like they definitely mean well. Either you or another party, like they definitely mean well. But it needs to come to a point of realization that, whatever it might be, again, is that you need to learn on your own, or you need to be doing things on your own, or simply put, like I said, this is not the point. Like, no more will you minimize your existence for other people. And again, like I said, just in my dream, when I picked the baby up and like the baby was full, and or the baby was put together again or whatever, or whole, excuse me, the baby was whole, and it was just like somebody just wanting to be like, oh, you got it, like, can I get it? It's like, no, like, let me do it, like, please, oh my gosh, like, that's so crazy. The last job that I had or whatever, my boss, he wasn't necessarily micromanaging, but if he was standing beside you, he'd be like, oh, do you want me to get this customer, or you want me to do it? No, like, what you hire me for? Like, nigga, like, I got it. Like, move, like, oh, that used to irritate me. Because it's like, I got it. Like, I'm not dumb. I understand. I know the process. You've already taught me. I've been through training. I got this. Like, why? Like, if you don't need nobody to work for you, then just work for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hire nobody. Like, that used to irritate me. It was like every time or anytime there was like a large order or something going on, it's like, you want me to get it? Like, I got it. You want me to do this? Like, no, I don't. Like, leave me alone. Get out my face, please. But that was like the energy that I had felt when, like, again, whatever the older woman, my mama, my aunt, whoever, was like, you want me to hold the baby? It's like, no, I got this. But again, I definitely still go back to, again, I might end up changing the title of this, but definitely still going back to like my original vibe, my original thought around this, around, you cherishing a precious new beginning, and possibly you having pride or taking pride within something that you're about to receive. Again, babies and dreams, whatever, they can just simply represent a new beginning. And again, and it was a big vibe as well. And I've been saying this over the last few videos as well, of like second chances. Again, this might not necessarily be number 2, okay? This might be the 25th, 35th, 75th, 85th chance at something, okay? Or something coming back around, an opportunity presenting itself again. And it's like you really cherishing it and really and again taking pride of like, no, I'm gonna do it right this time around. Like, I'm gonna move forward. 777 could be significant. Some of you guys could be seeing that, or the number 2 as well. Not necessarily 222, but 22. Specifically, the number 22 and 777 may be significant. But yes, it is a big vibe though that some type of multiple chances at whatever it may be. It may not be the same thing, but again, maybe you trying to achieve something or get something. And it's like you've done it in different ways or whatever it might be, child. But it's just like this time around, like you're very protective of of your ability to do something. Like you're very passionate about you being able to achieve something, or you being able to handle something. It's like, nah, I got it. Okay. So definitely it may be a vibe as well. Like definitely be careful, have discernment around, someone reaching out to you for help. Like somebody could be asking you for help, or you could be asking someone else. So definitely, check your energy. You know what I'm saying? Like don't necessarily get into a vibe of isolating yourself or feeling like you have to carry certain burdens by yourself when that's not necessary. So you can't have your pride around whatever you got going on, being prideful about stuff, and not necessarily in a bad way, but just you want to achieve something. You want to be happy for yourself. You want to be proud of yourself. Like definitely balance out that energy to the point of not to the point where you're closing people out, because that's still a blessing, and how blessings kind of flow, and how you kind of manifest newer and better energy by also helping others. So it's like it's still this flow of energy. Like you don't want to stop the flow of energy, but there are certain things or certain beginnings in your life that you are going to be very protective of, and you're really going to cherish it. Now, a little bit of joint that I wrote down, a little bit of energy that I wrote down. For some of you as well, it may be a vibe of you being very spiritually hungry right now. Okay, so again, and this may just really be a week of realizations for you, but then you working towards fulfilling those things in later weeks and later months or whatever. Because there's also a big vibe around like self-fulfillment, or again trying to achieve a certain thing, or trying to, you know what I'm saying, for fulfill any type of void or whatever. But some of you guys, it's like maybe you have been neglecting like your spiritual needs. Maybe you haven't prayed in forever. Maybe you haven't meditated. Maybe you haven't calmed the hell down. Okay, maybe you've been on 10. Maybe you've been very anxious, and it's like your energy, your soul is like it's you've been neglecting it. Like baby, you might need to be hungry for Jesus. Okay, like your soul, your spirit, your energy is like hungry for God, like for a more spiritual cleansing. Okay. As well, this is a vibe around releasing any type of self-pity. Okay, and it's so crazy. I was cleaning out my notes in my phone. I would have had a bunch of them, child. But I was cleaning out my notes in my phone, and I had a bunch of like quotes and stuff in there. And one of them was talking about like this energy of victimhood. And I actually did a message around releasing this energy of identifying with a victim, or identifying as a victim for too long. I actually did it. It was a Libra message, and baby, that was like the lowest views I have got. Like people really did not want to hear that. Okay, but listen, we gotta grow. Okay, even when it means to face yourself and be like, listen, you are not a damn victim anymore. Okay, like definitely releasing this, and I'm gonna say it again, releasing this energy of always identifying as a victim. But one of the quotes in my notes, it was like, stop holding so tightly to this victim mentality, because you will forever be looking for a savior. And so again, this may be a week of realizations where you always felt like, oh well, it's other people doing stuff to me, or nobody understands me, or whatever. And it's like you end up manifesting, always looking for a savior, and then you put somebody on a pedestal, and situations never turn out how you magically think that they're supposed to, because you're looking at somebody from a lens again of where they need to save you, or they need to help you, or again where again, even if it's the opposite, where you feel as if, because as well, like this energy of victimhood is like you feeling as if you're lacking something, so you try to overachieve. You could have been trying to be an overachiever your entire life, trying to impress your mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousin, whoever, like always trying to overachieve, because ultimately you felt like you were lacking something, or ultimately you felt like that you're just not hitting the mark, like you're just not getting it. And it's just like, says who? Like relax, like stop being so hard on yourself. But as well as some of you guys, like that is a big key part. Like it's not always just about childhood trauma or childhood wounds. Like it could have been something that you learned over time of, yeah, maybe there were certain situations where you were victimized, or where you did get hurt, where you got played, or whatever. But it's like, don't hold on to that identity. Like that is not all of you. That helped shape who you are, that helps shape, that helped to shape your standards and your boundaries. But that's not all of who you are. That hurt, that pain, that trauma, somebody hurting you, somebody playing you, literally, like I said, you being a victim in situations, that's a part of who you are, but that's not all of who you are. You should not continue to identify with just one small thing, because you're more than that. Like, again, this is a week of realizing you are more capable. Again, like I said, going back to my dream where I'm like, no, I got this. I can handle this, baby. I can handle this new beginning. It's like you are more than capable of getting ish done. Okay, I told y'all, make sure y'all follow me on Twitter, all right, because I just posted. I also put this tweet in my community tab. If you go to my YouTube page and go up to community, you'll see me talking there too. But I actually just tweeted something about that, like realizing that you are more than capable of achieving things, okay? But anyways, this idea of you subconsciously always been looking for a savior, and maybe that's why certain relationships and certain things didn't work out, because of the way that you were looking at it, because of the way that again, like this pedestal that you put this situation on. But yeah, this could definitely trickle down to where you're realizing certain things about your relationships, or you're realizing certain things about, your romantic relationship, your parents, or whatever. So all these close, intimate relationships, okay? Also, 333 could be very significant, or the number 3. But there's a big vibe around trilogy as well. So you may be overthinking or going way too deep into, either thinking about the past too much, being too much in the present, and not necessarily seeing a brighter future for yourself, or even looking too far in the future to where you can't focus on right now, okay? So definitely needing to find balance. There's also a trilogy of mother, dad, child, again, possibly needing to revisit or really realize certain traumas that you've been holding on to. Again, a certain energy around body, mind, and soul. Like I said, you might be lacking spiritually, like you might be drained right now spiritually, and it's like, baby, you know what I'm saying, like it's time to fill your cup up, all right? And then of course, you know what I'm saying, the more religious trilogy of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, okay? So again, this is a week, again, where I feel like more so it's like you're stepping into this point, but what you're about to achieve and the work that you need to do spiritually, emotionally, or whatever will come over time. But this week, this is a moment, again, mind over matter, stepping into your power to overcome and to be victorious. So again, letting go, like I said, of any victim mentality, not identifying only with tragic moments, tragic things, really identifying with the low vibrational energies of other people. You know what I'm saying? If other people hurt you or did whatever, it's like, if you felt so disgusted by it, it's like, don't keep identifying with their low vibrations. Like, you are above that. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is definitely a week of, again, just mind over matter. For some of you guys, this might even be exercising. Maybe you're eating differently, going on a certain diet. Again, this could be going after career, a job, or something like that, feeling as if, maybe you're not good enough, or you don't have what, baby, go ahead and apply. Go ahead and do what you got to do, okay? But yeah, that's it. I love y'all so much. Please make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe. Of course, make sure y'all hit me up, okay, for a personal one-on-one phone call or a live one-on-one video chat with me. Take the messages for how they resonate. I love y'all so much. Okay, bye.